There are three sorts of the narrative. The speaker states the story in the first person, second person, or third person narrative. The first person narrative is this. The speaker can convey a story about the speaker himself to the listeners in the conversation with the first person narrative. In the story's first person narrative, the subject of the story is the speaker himself. There is an example. I am a student. The subject of the story is indicated by the personal pronoun I. To indicate the speaker as the subject of the story. The be verb am is to describe the existence of the speaker as the subject, and the speaker intends to define himself with the phrase of the noun a student. So we can say that the definition of the be verb am describes the existence of the speaker at first. The phrase of the noun a student is the definition of the be verb to describe the condition of the speaker who exists at the present. The second person narrative is this. The speaker can convey a story about the listeners in the conversation with the second person narrative. There is an example. The speaker states the story about the listeners, and the speaker indicates the listeners in the conversation with the personal pronoun you to indicate the listeners as the subject. The speaker reveals the subject of the example are the listeners with the personal pronoun you, and the be verb are describes the existence of the listeners. The speaker states the story from the subject, you, be verb, or the speaker additionally states the adjective kind. Then we can also understand that the definition of the be verb are is changed from describing the existence of the listeners to describing the condition of the listeners at the present. We can think of the situation that the speaker is in a conversation with a listener or listeners. With the application of the be verb are, the speaker sets the premise that the number of the listeners is plural. We can wonder about the situation that the speaker is in a conversation with the only listener. This is the description about the premise to consider the listeners plural. The listeners are considered to be plural even if the story is supposed to be conveyed to only one listener. When the speaker conveys the story to the supposed listener, the speaker recognizes the range of the story to be spread. The content of the conversation to be spread to the other listeners. The speaker considers the number of the listener as plural. The spread of the content. The story stated by the speaker can be understood with the two ways. The first way, that the story is spread to the other listeners, is this. The story can be spread to the unexpected listeners at the same time when the conversation takes place. When the speaker and a listener have a conversation, there can be the other listeners who the speaker to participate in the conversation with hearing. The second way, that the content of the story stated by the speaker to be spread to the other listeners, is this. The story can be spread by the listener who participated in the conversation with the speaker after the conversation is finished. After the conversation with the speaker and the only listener is finished, the listener who participated in the conversation with the speaker can spread the content of the story to the other. In the will of Jesus Christ, so the speaker always consider that the listeners in the conversation are plural.